What's up, chat? I'm exhausted because I was like, I'm gonna finish my manga before next stream, and it's like, no. However, I am still, I am pretty much very close to being over, so just gonna grind it out. Been drawing for like 9 hours since 2 in the morning or so. As much as we want to meme on Togashi for never ever finishing Hunter x Hunter, if you ever do any kind of manga drawing yourself at any point in your life, you'll be like, how the fuck did he draw that much, even if it's like 1/10 of Oda? Have you seen the Twitter URL change? What, did they change it to X finally? I wasn't really paying attention, nor do I really care at this point. It still says twitter.com. Nobody will call it X. It's one of the dumbest ideas ever by any kind of businessman. Still at 2 pages. Are you actually on the last page? I'm at like 1 more page basically. And the last page is only 2 panels, so it's not that bad. But I have to do like the finishing touches and stuff. And then also do some more merging down. I said that I'm almost done at 2 pages, but I've literally never been able to finish like a 2 pages in one day, so it's not surprising that I wasn't able to finish it. Don't kappa me, young lady. Any more kappas and you're gonna go to your room without any dinner. This is a non-kappa household. I saw a Discord where some smug asshole was like, I bet he didn't finish his manga because he played 16 hours of Pathfinder or some shit like that. Bitch, I haven't played any video games in the last month, basically. And it still takes forever. The sad truth is that I wish we could all just be like, oh, he's not getting anything done because he's too busy playing video games. The dark truth is that nothing's getting done, and it's not because I'm being lazy or not playing video games. It's just because drawing manga takes forever, that's all. I will feel much less guilty about trying to play games after I'm back to slaving. At some point, we all have to just be a slave, one way or the other. It's the only way that we can find truth and meaning in this world. People who are born with infinite resources and money, they just find something else to slave about. When I was unemployed and didn't have a job in like the Great Recession, I just played Final Fantasy XI so I could get that slave. See, the only way that we can get a sense of accomplishment is if we do difficult shit that makes us unhappy. Damn human limitations. Unfortunately, AI can't really do manga, so I have to hire someone. Until drawing actually produces money they can see, they won't acknowledge it. My mother always asks whether I'm driving DoorDash or not because she can't see. Boomers don't understand the concept of making money off the internet to begin with. So even if you're making money off of it, they won't actually understand that this is like your primary job. I've explained to my mother like 100 times that all the time that I spend driving DoorDash, I'm actually losing money because I'm getting paid significantly less to drive DoorDash than I am to draw us a shit. But she will never understand. Hire? Okay. I mean, force people to draw for free. There's always that option. Hystrixia, quit your job now. So you can draw backgrounds for me. Haha, just kidding. There's only like one background in this entire manga. They still want you to do something they find respectable. Yeah, for some reason my mother doesn't respect my diaper furry porn activities. I'm not sure why. Anyways, I think my mother just thinks I'm unemployed, and if she's okay with that, then that's fine with me. Hopefully that will mean that she'll pity me and give me more inheritance when she actually dies. She doesn't understand. I haven't told any of my relatives my Twitter account and stuff like that so they can see my stuff, even though they've asked multiple times. Because I know that none of them actually consume the type of media I produce in any format. So it would just be like, oh, that's so nice, honey. You drew something. That's a great picture of a cat or a turkey or whatever that is. I'm so proud of you. It's just that type of shit. Like, as an artist, I don't give a fuck about people who are looking at your pictures because they like you as a human being instead of they actually like the content that you produce, you know? That's like fake engagement right there. If your parents are going to be proud of you no matter what you do, then basically their opinion is kind of meaningless in terms of your accomplishments. It's nice to have it as emotional support, but in terms of actual, like, fan base, it means absolutely nothing, so I'd draw the hell out of some diaper furries right now if it meant not going back to the factory. Out of all the commissions I've done, I've only been asked to draw diaper content once and furry content like once, so they're not as numerous as you might think. This is why you need to mistreat your kids. You have to use your children as a surrogate for your own failed dreams. So instead of me drawing manga, I'd be like forcing my kid to become a best-selling Jump author or something like that. I was gonna be a ballerina until I got pregnant. That type of energy. Shadows. I think my favorite version of parents are the parents that didn't succeed at the actual thing that they're forcing the kid to learn, and then like get angry when the kid isn't successful. It's like, this is your genes. What did you expect? On the other hand, didn't Venus and Serena Williams' father not actually play tennis at all? Wasn't he like completely not a tennis player, and then he just was like, I'm gonna train my daughters to become the best tennis players in the world, and it actually worked. So maybe maybe that approach is more legitimate than I think. Force my child to draw the in-betweens and do cleanup on indie animations. Yeah. The mother gene saved her. Many such cases. I think the approach the parent takes is more important than the genes. In the case of sports, it definitely isn't. If you want to become a professional sports player, like, nurture is about 5%, and the remaining 95% is nature. If you don't have the genes, there's 0% chance that you can become, like, any kind of pro sports player. I say this as someone who played a lot of sports and has absolutely shit athletic genes. Like, it's not even a question. Even people who are in, like, minor league sports and stuff are just completely built different from average humans. Hey, NeverX, thanks for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate the support. 2 years, wow. Wow, it really has been 2 years. It's been a long time. Or has it been like a 2.5 years total? I can't remember when I started streaming. It would have been in December, so you're not one of the oldest people, but it's pretty close. You'll never be in the NBA if you're a 5'3". You probably won't play soccer if you can't run fast. Soccer is one of those where if you have like really good ball control, then you might be able to compensate for being a manlet like Messi or something. But the NBA is the most obvious one, where it's like, no matter how athletic you are, if you're shorter than 6 feet tall, you're absolutely completely fucked in the NBA, so you may as well give up on that one. You'll have to try a different sport. It also takes a long time to even train your body to the point where you can compete. Like, I don't know how many of you guys in the stream actually played sports, but as someone who did enough sports to know that I had absolutely no athletic genes. Well, I had some athletic genes. I was like, if you look at the bell curve, I was in the solidly in the top, I don't know, 80%, 70% of men out there, so, you know, that means you get 6th place when you go to a swim meet or something. Messi has some inhuman legs, though, combination of genetics and years of training. I'm definitely not going to make the argument that Messi doesn't have athletic genetics, because yeah, there aren't any people like that who can become professional sports players that don't have giga genetics. There's more to genetics than just like how fast you can run and how far you can jump and stuff like that. There's all this other stuff like body control and reflexes and your ability to like spatial recognition, all that stuff, so. Don't you mean top 20 to 30%? Top 70% could mean anything above the bottom tier? Yeah, I meant like top 70%. Again, I'm saying I'm shit at sports. I was top 70%. That's what I'm saying. The only reason I'm better than other people is because the other people weren't competing in sports and hadn't trained. So, like, I could probably outperform the fat ass who, you know, never gets up his couch and just is on Xbox Live all day. But that's only because that fat ass is more interested in playing Halo than actually playing sports. If he actually trained himself the same amount that I was playing, doing stuff, he would be way better than me, because I'm like 70% or so. Either way, I think they get paid way too much for sports. I don't really know too much, but a deal for like 24 million seems a little crazy, considering those who work in factories actually contribute. Anybody who complains about how much sports players get paid is barking up the wrong tree. Sports players get paid as a function of the interest in their sport and what people are willing to pay to watch that sport. So they really don't have any sort of like functionality in which they're taking money from other people. If anything, they're one of the few ways in which rich oligarchs can overpay for something and lose their money if they're overpaying sports players because they want to win or some shit like that. What you should be angry about, if you're angry that you have to work in a shitty factory all day, is you should be angry about the various owners of the capital and the company that get golden parachutes even if they crash the company with no survivors and don't have to pay taxes because the government is set up so, you know, they can just endlessly increase their wealth. Sports players are one of the very few people who can make large amounts of money in society in which they actually do it based on a meritocracy, kind of like performance-based. Their contribution is gambling and dick-waving for the elites, yes. It's one of the few ways in which the elites can waste their money and also feel superior to other elites because there's only like 30 teams in the NBA, so if Steve Ballmer wants to have something that the other billionaires don't have, he can buy that fucking sports team. Also, it's a way for the elites to live vicariously through people who are actually good at something. See, deep down, all the elites know that they're super rich because they were either lucky in terms of inheritance or because they were in the right place or the right time or whatever. As much as they'll all talk about how, like, they pulled themselves up from the bootstraps, they all fucking know that that's not true. So they have deep-seated insecurities, and it feels really good for them to vicariously live through people who actually accomplish something like sports players, which is why they waste a shit ton of money to buy sports teams and then celebrate with the team and, like, raise the NBA trophy after their team wins as if they fucking did something themselves. It's actually pretty fucking cringe, but everybody has to humor them because they're extremely rich. Publicly shit-talking someone with any kind of popularity on the internet is not good? Wrong. Always punch up. Sakimi-chan, I know you're watching. Debate me right now. I know you're a fucking fake. But you're probably too afraid. Who's your favorite Western porn star? There was this... see, I haven't updated any of my porn stars because I've just gone 2D so hard. But when I was like 14, I found this, I think, like, Czech porn star called Veronika Vanoza. And I've never found a porn star I liked more than her. So I still jack off to her really old videos that aren't even in high definition. Some schizo will try to dox you and spam your emails or DMs with shit. Bro, some schizo will try and spam you anyways. Even if you don't start shit with anybody. It's the fucking internet. Actually, I think it's much more likely that nobody will care about you. That's something that I have to worry about, chat. If you guys try and at Messi to fight you, everybody's just going to ignore you because they don't give a fuck about you. That's the reality right there. Gathered you as more the Sasha Grey type? Eh. I often complain about boobs being too big, but I do appreciate when the boobs are like just the right size. You wouldn't understand. I like boobs that are about the size where it's like just too big for you to palm in your hand. I think that's the optimal big boob size. However, if I'm gonna marry a woman and I actually want to be with her for the rest of my life, I would prefer extremely flat chest because the uh, the breast can only maintain its attractive shape for a certain amount of time, whereas fully flat chests can keep their flatness much longer. I don't like when the fat starts to sag, of course. So some random on Pixiv offered me 2K to fungate my art for NFTs. I thought it was a scam, but maybe I should have taken the offer because I need money badly right now. It's probably a scam. Just gonna throw it out there. Especially if they're doing it right now. Maybe if it was at like the peak of NFTs. Anybody who's doing NFTs right now is probably just trying to scam you. The people who are actually making NFTs off money off NFTs have properly pulled the rug and moved on. Nobody's doing NFTs anymore. Is this the music to talk about tits? Yes. It's for debating boob size. Yes. The face when you post art and lose followers? Yeah. I've sort of given up on Twitter followers, by the way, because everything has gotten weird after Elon bought it. And I can't tell if it's like deleting, it's because he's deleting shit or deleting followers or whatever, I don't know. I used to actually use the speed at which my followers increased on how popular my art was and stuff and whether I was getting enough reach, but I don't even know anymore. I need to become known in some community. You just have to find what you enjoy and then continue to pursue that aspect of art. You need a signature. You can't really force it, you know. What if I enjoy being a burden to society? You should do art about being a burden to society. You can do art about being like, haha, I don't pay any taxes and I receive autism bucks. While you losers have to work and pay taxes that funds my gaming addiction. How does that make you feel, Wages? And then hopefully people will get angry and then it will increase your followers. Wagey, get in cagey. Don't expect much results if you don't like mainstream stuff. That's not true. I mean, it depends what you mean by mainstream. If you're like, no, why does nobody like my Ryonaguro amputation diaper vor porn? It's not fair. Then it's like, yeah, that might be a little. You might be asking a little too much from the average consumer there. Nobody likes it when I draw Yor from Spy Family with all of her limbs cut off and getting tied to an orc and then also shitting into her diaper. It's not fair. You better draw Pomni wearing a golden bikini. Yeah. Golden bikinis are kind of hard to draw. You have to get the shininess correct. I will say that when anybody asks, do you think it's okay to use AI art for references, I usually say don't because it makes a lot of mistakes. One thing in which I say it's okay to use AI art for references is shiny objects like leather suits and golden bikinis and stuff like that. Where you don't care if the lighting is accurate or not, you just only care about the feeling of the lighting. I think AI does a really good job with that stuff. Fabric textures and shit. Hystrixia, stop responding every time I say amputation. I'm gonna find your favorite amputation hentai and like do a Photoshop edit of it and add legs and arms back to the women. I'm gonna sell my Katawa Shoujo mod in which all the girls have all their fucking limbs and have no visible disabilities. How about that? Yeah. They're like, wow, it feels so great now that I've used my magic to regain all of my limbs. I'm glad I'm not disabled anymore. I never enjoyed being an onahole. Several Japanese artists I follow have drawn the Mario AI meme. Is that a meme? I don't even know about it. It must not be a that famous meme. Is it the one where you type into Mid-Journey or something, image of an Italian plumber, an original Italian plumber, and it gives you fucking Mario? Because AI is incapable of creating anything new? Is that what you're talking about? That's adorable that you think my favorite amputation doujin has women without limbs. Okay. Fine. I'll draw the hairy Bara guy who's had all his limbs amputated with limbs or something. I don't know. I don't like the burn face girl. Her only disability is being a burn victim. LMAO. That's right, guys. You tell them. Fucking burn victims thinking they're disabled. I remember when my best friend came back from Iraq and his entire face was burned off from an IED, and I was like, I thank you for your service, but don't get all cocky and think I'm gonna help you just because you're disabled now. That shit don't count. And he was like, thanks, bro. To be fair, I think American military members actually would prefer you if you stop saying thank you for your service and shit. I think they're really, really fucking sick of that. Let's be honest, anybody who's like, salute our military, thank you for their service, what they actually mean is, I want to feel good about the military without actually having to, you know, join the military myself. Most of those people, they're living vicariously through the military. Just like rich people are living vicariously through the NBA stars of the NBA team that they bought. She unironically probably lives an easier life than Protag, who has to deal with heart issues. Look, I know it's hard for you to understand because you're probably an unattractive man, but if you're a hot girl, getting your face burned off is an actual disability. 90% of what preferential treatment women get in this world happens because they look hot. So if their face looks awful, then that's a pretty big disability. Just ask any ugly woman out there. There's a reason why, like, I forgot which country started it, but people figured out that if they were angry at somebody, they could just throw acid on their face. Not that I'm suggesting you should do that. Don't ban me, Twitch. Yeah, just ask all those acid attack victims. Exactly, we're both thinking the same thing. If Sandy wants to take my boyfriend, there's only one thing I can do. Throw chemicals on her face that we use for, like, agriculture and burn off her whole fucking face so that she has to live the rest of her life in a tortured existence, neither alive nor dead, and shunned by everybody because just looking at her is, you know, horrifying and nobody wants to do that. Easy. It was India, Iran. Shit's fucked up, man. There's a clip from Adventure Time that I saved. That is the Ice Wizard character throwing a cup of water in the face of a fire girl. It's really funny. Everybody wanted to fuck the fire girl so much. I don't browse Co, but I know that like 90% of Adventure Time is just people debating over who is best girl, which is the case for most things, but it's especially prominent for Adventure Time, right? Because it's all just like various girls who the main character doesn't get to fuck or something. I can't remember. Most of the other girls are thin or not shaped like a human. Yeah. I don't know. Just from that one 4chan thread alone, I know there's like 5 or 6 girls that people are fighting over. There's like the Huntress girl. There's Bubblegum Princess. There's Lesbian Vampire. Am I missing anybody? Not that I care. I'm not really a big fan of anything Western animation-wise, but Princess Bubblegum is a war criminal. You're not dissuading anybody from liking her. People spend all of their time and money masturbating over S-death, so I don't think that's any kind of an argument. I would love to eat her ass. It would taste like bubblegum. I don't like the pink bubblegum flavor. Whatever that's called. Fruity Tooty, whatever it is. I never liked it. I need my bubblegum to actually taste like something. Also, I could never blow bubbles, so I've given up on bubblegum. It doesn't appeal to me. Jesus, what did I just walk into? If this is the type of thing that makes you go, Jesus, what did I walk into? You're not prepared for 90% of the conversation that's going to happen in the stream, unfortunately. Talking about Bubblegum Princess's ass flavor is probably the most, you know, safe for work shit that we talk about. You prefer fruity flavored gum over the basic sugary sweet? I don't know. I just want something I can chew on, which I guess isn't bubblegum. That's like chewing gum. I've given up on bubblegum, I guess. I like, what was the name of the bubblegum that... Oh, Bubble Tape. Was that what it was? I always liked Bubble Tape as a kid, just for its appeal of its shape, you know? The novelty. It only gets worse, much, much worse. Yeah, someone came in and they were lucky enough to miss the part where I was talking about amputation. Excuse me, amputation porn. BB likes his ass with undiluted natural taste. Gonna be honest, I don't want to eat any ass. I know this is a controversial opinion, but I'm brave enough to say it. I don't want to tongue your asshole. In fact, I don't even want to stick my dick inside ass. I remember when Rick Santorum was still a political figure, and he was like super against gay people because he's like Catholic and stuff. So the gays were like, hey, as a practical joke, let's invent a word called Santorum and make it famous enough so that if you Google search Santorum, it will show up in the results. And they made it so that they created the word Santorum with the definition being the mix of lube and fecal matter if you don't properly do your enema when you have anal sex. And I think it was popular enough that you could see it if you Google search Santorum. So they succeeded in that regard. But that was sort of a wake-up call for me. That I was like, damn, I didn't think about how you would be like shitting out lube with poop in it if you have to have anal sex and you don't properly, you know, clean out your rectum and stuff. The butthole is so sensitive, though. I mean, mine isn't. I'm shitting blood every day, baby. Don't feel a thing. No big deal. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is trying to push that his brain being partly worm-eaten will not affect his career. Yes. It probably won't, let's be honest. As in that he'll have the same career if people didn't know about it. As in, all he'll do is get in the way of the rest of the election. It loses its sensitivity and elasticity if you use it too much or take huge insertions. Sounds like words of a coward. Stop being a pussy and put the Rubik's Cube up your asshole. It was made to give birth to children. Anything will fit. Oh wait, that's the vagina, not the asshole, but it's close enough. I don't take fat dumps. My dumps are actually very diminutive and soft because I eat a lot of yogurt so that I don't destroy my my hemorrhoid. Everyone wants to be like, haha, streamers just like me. He sticks gigantic monster dildos up his ass. When that nothing could be further from the truth. What are brat fags? Never mind, I figured it out. Sniff, sniff, sniff. So I want to have like pop style dots, but I haven't really been able to figure out How do I make them larger so that the dots are super visible? Frequency. See, I have to start learning this shit because I have to start getting ready to drawing in monochrome, unfortunately, instead of using grays. You can fill in the gray and set the gray to be dots. Yeah, but it's okay because I'm just messing around for now. How are you doing? I'm almost done. Do I increase the frequency? No, I reduce the frequency. Or do I? Let's make it really low, like a 5 or something. No, doesn't look like that. Alright, I'm gonna have to do this in a different context, because I'm going to have to actually look at a tutorial on all this shit. Yeah, I've been half a month, almost done, Ball, just saying. Silence. Unlike you unproductive losers who spend all your time trying to get out of silver in League of Legends, I'm actually producing something, which unfortunately takes a lot of time. The only reason that you get 16 pages of manga per week from your favorite weekly manga author is because they're literally killing themselves to provide you that entertainment, and also they hire like 5 people. I know you hate us like everyone else, but calling us League players is low. I know there's like 1 or 2 actual League players in chat among like the regulars that are on the Discord. I can't remember who it was though. There's like 1 Dota player and like 2 League players, I think. Sad, really. And like maybe 2 Team Fortress players. I don't think anyone has confessed to being a Valorant player. Nobody has fallen that far. I play and draw Dota. I'd prefer to draw Dota over League. Every once in a while I get requests to draw League characters, and they're just so uninspiring in terms of like the art design for the character design. It's just like, I just can't get excited for that shit. I don't know why I find League characters so unappealing, but I really do. If any League players read this now, no, you are not going to make it at pretty much literally everything. If you're wasting thousands of hours to play League, you really aren't going to make it. Getting good at anything takes a lot of time, and if you're spending that extremely limited resource of time to get good at something that matters and trying to get out of silver in League, then yeah, you aren't going to make it. They are generic by design. Yeah, I don't really know what makes them. For some reason, Dota, which is also has like weird genericness to it, it doesn't really bother me. I like the Dota character designs way, way more. I just feel like the art design of League clashes with other characters. Like one character, the way in which there'll be like the steampunk characters, and then one character is like a giant slime and all this shit. Like just the way it's designed, it just looks bad. Also the color palette. I don't like the color palette either. Riot concept artists are expected to fall within a specific look. A lot of artists complain that they can't get a flexible portfolio working there. Yeah, but I feel like that the specific look they have isn't consistent either. Valorant doesn't bother me though. It's just League in which like I feel like they just... It feels like it was designed by a bunch of middle schoolers. Who are like... yo, you design 5 characters, I design 5 characters, and we'll come back together and, you know, communicate later in the future. Some shit like that. It just seems very poorly thought out. What are your thoughts on Apex Legend characters? My friends try to get me into it, but I just can't stand the designs. I mean, it doesn't matter as much for Apex Legends because it's a first-person shooter, right? You're not looking at your own character. And when you're looking at other characters, they're moving around at like warp speed while they zip around the map. So you're just trying to shoot them. So it ultimately doesn't really matter in first-person shooters whether you like the character designs or not. The map design is where the art style really comes into play. If you don't like the map design art style, then you're probably not going to enjoy it. The character designs I don't think are a big deal. I'd fuck Watson, I guess. Who knows? They're okay. You look at a dude who looks like a muscle buff Korean idol, and then there's a cartoon mummy kid that looks straight out of Pokemon. Yeah, it's just like there are other MOBAs that have like a wide variety of different worldviews and shit, but the art style doesn't clash in the same way. The only MOBA I've personally played is Paragon, and the Paragon remake after it got killed by Epic. But that had similar, like, it has sci-fi, it has like a K-pop star, it had the same shit that League of Legends has, but because they're all use the same Unreal Engine look, that specific Unreal Engine graphics feel to it, it was way less, like the styles didn't clash the way they do with League. Also, I think it's kind of bizarre that Riot is just a company that takes other successful formulas and is like, we're gonna do the same fucking thing, and now they're the biggest video game company in the world. That should be a bad sign. They're like, look at this video game that has 1 million players. We're gonna do the exact same fucking thing, except we're gonna add like a bunch of green and pink colors. I'm talking about Valorant right there. Riot had layoffs, LOL. Yeah, but aren't they still like one of the most or the most profitable video game company? Pendragon is confirmed to have ripped off the Dota forums to make League. I mean, who gives a fuck? Everybody already knew that. Even if they weren't ripping off Dota 2, Dota 1 was already around for, what is it, like 5 or 6 to 10 years or something before we got the Valve version. Like, he doesn't need to go to the forums, right? They were profitable but had to make major budget cuts. A few internal projects ended. Let me guess. The MOBA? Maybe I'm wrong. Do you know what projects ended? Because they had some really, like, unprofitable and expensive sounding projects in the pipeline, right? They had a MOBA, they had... Didn't they have a fighting game that nobody's gonna fucking play? Fighting games don't have that much of a budget compared to a MOBA, but... I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna play it. I don't think the FGC is waiting with bated breath for the Riot fighting game. There was a new MOBA, a fighting game, and something akin to Animal Crossing. Both the fighting game and the Animal Crossing game, I feel you could develop pretty cheaply. And it probably has way more upside than the fighting game, the Animal Crossing. Chicks love that shit, and chicks love playing Riot games. I don't know why. My guess is that, like, the population of Dota is about, like, 20% or 10% or even less female, and the population of League is more like 30% or 40% female. Maybe not 40%, but significantly higher. So if you created Riot brand Animal Crossing, just like a dollhouse for the girls to play with, to prove that they are quote-unquote hardcore gamers, I think it would be very profitable, honestly. Cozy life simulators are like catnip for women. It's Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. I know you play Rune Factory, but I don't think that's really included. You know what they should merge as a video game idea? They should merge the Cozy Life Simulator with homosexual yaoi fucking. Like, you're a female farmer, and to get the most highest quality livestock and crops, there's some sort of video game mechanic where you have to get guys to breed each other's assholes or something. I feel like this has a lot of potential. It's two tastes that taste great together, at least for women. And then, of course, the video game quote-unquote journalists would really latch onto this idea and be like, Gay Ass Farm is the video game that we need right now. It's the type of ass fucking representation that everybody needs. They probably have the option somewhere. The guys are breeding studs in cow outfits. There was this Western eroge that was like called Breeding Season or something like that, I believe. Maybe that didn't have gay options. There's one of the Twitter artists I follow, I know, is making some sort of farm simulator that is about fucking monster girls, but it has a lot of male sexo options, so I guess it already exists. Cloud Metal? Yeah, I think it's Cloud Metal that I'm thinking of. I'm not particularly interested in anything that has multi-sex options because I'm extremely heterosexual, but... I played that, I think. I don't remember any male options, though. Yeah, I think Cloud Metal is the one where they're making it so there's hot male monsters and hot female monsters, both options. I guess I'm too heterosexual to remember. Yeah, I want my porn to be aimed directly at me as a man, a heterosexual man. And not just as a heterosexual man, it also has to be extremely misogynistic and demeaning toward women. If I sense any sort of respect to the female gender from my porn, then my penis can no longer maintain its hardness. This is very important. But don't go overboard either. I don't want Asanagi levels of women giving me an entire PhD thesis on why they're all masochistic sluts. It has to be more natural than that. That's too on the nose. As you can see, I'm a very picky consumer of my masturbatory material. Can you try not to not be misogynistic? I'm not misogynistic. I want my porn to be misogynistic. Do you think the kind of people that want to see bugs and scary monsters fuck women are majority women or majority men? I feel like there's some sort of graph that you can use where as the material gets more and more extreme, it becomes more and more like you have complete vanilla in which there's a much more balanced number between the men who are jacking off to it and the women who are jacking off to it, and as it gets more and more extreme and there's more like grotesque creatures fucking, then it becomes more and more male dominated, and then there's an inflection point and you get to like hyper guro disgusting shit, and then suddenly the number of female jacking off spikes back up again. That's my theory. So if it's stuff like Taimanin Asagi stuff, like Black Lilith stuff, I think it's much more men. But then once you get to a certain point where you get like horrible images of women getting their intestines pulled out by gigantic cockroaches and stuff, then we're back in like the female Coomer zone. I'm sure some men see themselves as a monster. I know I do. A monster with a gigantic what's the term for the bugs that is it ovipository, where it they shoot eggs out of their tentacles or whatever. The bug sex visual novels, man. The people who draw bug sex with like realistic bug anatomy are a different type of Coomer, for real. Ovipositor. I'm glad that we have such knowledgeable people in chat. Always got my back when I forget a specific hentai term. There are also a lot of girls that fantasize about being hurt. Yeah. Stay away from those people. Don't stick your dick in that kind of crazy. It's good if they're just fantasizing, but when they're actually like, I need you to choke me so I can have a more intense orgasm. I need to choke me to the point where I might or might not die and you might be charged with murder. Then that's when you have to be like, sorry. Sorry, Laura. I'm not going to do that for you. You're going to have to just tie a belt to a doorknob like, what's his name, who killed himself by mistake, jacking off. What about NTR? A lot of Coomers say it's mostly women looking at it. I think both genders look at NTR at this point. It's one of the most common porn genres, so there's no reason to differentiate between who's looking at it. Everybody's looking at it. Even and especially the people who hate it. They don't know if they are coming or going. Your orgasm feels best when you're literally about to just die, which is not a good state to be in. When your brain is deprived of oxygen or something, it feels way better or some shit like that. Which is, of course, not something you want to be doing if, you don't want to be charged with murder if you mistakenly kill your girlfriend. NTR is just okay. I think you can't truly appreciate NTR unless you're self-inserting as the guy who's being cucked and you're having orgasm while you feel miserable and sad. But I don't, I don't want to live my life like that, so I don't do it. Is it ugly bastard Shota or handsome guy? Whiting out can be so nice, though. Of course you would have an opinion on this. The only whiting out I need is the joy of whitewashing historical figures, such as having John Wayne play Genghis Khan. That's the only whiting out that I need. How long have you been making the manga for now? It feels like it's been for months since you have begun. It's been like a month. It hasn't been that long. It's been like a month and a half. The existence of porn tags seems funny, but they're actually incredibly important. I mean, everything needs to be tagged properly. He's lying, it's almost been 3 months. No, it hasn't. You can look at my fucking Twitter timeline. I've been posting shit for quite a while now. Like, I'm not counting the months in which I was also doing other things at the same time. Jesus Christ. I mean, I was even drawing other requests during this month or last month in April as well. Yeah, I basically spent most of April and half of May, so it has been a month and a half. That's about it. The John Wayne is Genghis Khan movie? No, it's terrible. It's called The Conqueror. Let's be honest, most of John Wayne movies are pretty fucking awful. Pretty much all media before like 1970, especially movies and stuff, is unwatchable by today's standards. You try and watch something like Breakfast at Tiffany's, which is considered to be a classic because everybody thinks Audrey Hepburn is, the most beautiful princess of all time. And nobody wants to talk about it, but as soon as you turn it on, like half of the scenes are a white guy with glasses and buck teeth pretending to be a Japanese person being like, "Oh, Mr. Happy-go-lucky! Oh, Mrs. I am Yamamoto! Oh, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah." This, I'm not even joking. He actually talks like that. This is like 1960 or so. Basically, Hollywood had like a huge period in the 1970s where they decided they were actually going to make good movies. And it hasn't been the same since it. So everything before the 1970s is basically shit. All those westerns in the 60s are incredible. I think, what, are you talking about spaghetti westerns? Those weren't made by Hollywood. It's fine. Racism against Asians is fine. You just can't talk about other races. Haha. See, that's where you're wrong. Before 1960 or the 1970s, racism against the other races that isn't allowed right now was also fine. In fact, it was our greatest form of entertainment for a good part of like 50 or 60 years after the Civil War, which is why we had like endless minstrel shows and stuff. If you were alive in like 1890 and you wanted to relax with a great time, you would go to look at the local minstrel show and watch the people in blackface singing and dancing and be like, ah, what a great relaxing evening. It just do be like that. The good old minstrel shows, cringe. Yeah, it's tragic that we've forgotten such a beautiful American art form. That feeling when you're a black performer and they're like, ooh, you're not black enough for this minstrel show. You need to put extra blackface on your black skin, which was a thing that real actually happened. It's pretty funny. Justin Trudeau kept the tradition alive and well, but he's Canadian though. Americans have forgotten our traditions. We're letting the Canadians take them from us. Europeans like to pretend like Jim Crow era racism was something that only existed in the Americas, but there were gollywog doll shops and entire brands of products that just have blackface caricatures. There was a little doll in Japan in I think 1960 or something called Dakko-chan, which means Dakko means to like hold stuff, to like hold a baby or something. I forgot. But it was a huge popular fashion item. Here we go. We haven't. God damn, they're fucking huge. So women would stick this weird racist black African tribesman caricature onto their arm. I didn't know they were this big. They're fucking huge. I thought they were like way smaller. But Japan, being stupid as usual, was like, this is the peak of our fashion in the 1960s. It was a huge hit. It's like, yeah, nothing like having a racist caricature attached to your arm. It's kind of cute, though. It is cute. Toriyama, I have an idea. Toriyama didn't invent the concept of painting black people completely black and giving them red lips. He was the latest and probably one of the last of a long, great tradition of casual racism. Remember the blackface Pokemon? I'm not even sure the blackface Pokemon was a blackface Pokemon, but it's close enough. Didn't they make her look like a Gyaru? Yeah, who knows? Gyaru is blackface. Sorry, but black people don't have sole control over getting a tan. If you want to get tanned and give yourself skin cancer, then people are allowed to do that. Nothing like getting irritated for hours and hours and hours so you can get skin cancer later in life. I hate it when people pretend tan equals black. Black is just like a cultural construct. It's what it needs to be depending on the situation. Same thing for whiteness. Australia having one of the highest rates of skin cancer because a bunch of Irish people moving to the desert is funny. Did they move to the desert or were they sent to the desert because it was a penal colony? Australia is just where you go because you want to be killed by giant birds and giant spiders and giant koalas, and it's just not a place for humans to live. Now people are trying to look up the history of Australia. Australia first settlers. The first settlement was about 850 convicts. Doesn't say like the second. I don't give a fuck about Australia, honestly. And neither should you. Australia and Canada are these locations that we pretend are Western civilized countries, but in reality, they can be just completely ignored. British and Irish have the same pasty skin color, so it doesn't matter. I'd rather be Irish than British, honestly. If I get isekai'd by a truck and am reborn as a fucking Brit, I'll be like, oh god, what did I do in my previous life to receive such a horrible punishment? The worst of all fates. I was reborn as a British person, but because I have somewhat straight teeth, I am the strongest. The Aboriginals are super fascinating. I'm not talking about the Aborigines when I say we can ignore Australia. If it was just the Aborigines, I'd be fine. There are still weeaboos, but there aren't that many teaboos. I mean, what about all the people who still care about the royal family and shit? Aren't those teaboos? Aren't people pissing their pants at the latest royal wedding? And Queen Elizabeth's death. I remember we got like 24-hour news coverage when Queen Elizabeth finally died in the United States. People were like, oh, what a great time. We must honor the Queen. It's just like, what the fuck do you people care about so much, though? I saw the coronation picture of Charles. He looks like an Elden Ring character. You mean Charles the Grafted? With his 6 fingers and 18 arms? Teaboos watch BBC and follow the royals. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to. I assume that, like, it's 80% women and the remaining 20% are gay men. As a straight man, I have no interest in the British royal family, that's for sure. When is the Elden Ring DLC coming? Was it in June? If it is June, then it's right around the corner, isn't it? If they are straight men, they are only watching British crime dramas, like Peaky Blinders. I was alright, was he maidenless, 621. I just love childhood friend Chan in this manga. I don't care about the elves. The elves must exist to make childhood friend Chan suffer. No straight guy watches crime dramas. I mean, what do straight guys watch at this point? Sports, I guess. They watch Arsenal versus Chelsea and cry when Arsenal is shitty again. Is Arsenal still shitty? Whenever I need to list a football team that I want to make fun of for people being fans of it forever, I always just immediately go to Arsenal. But I don't actually pay attention to the Premier League. So Arsenal might actually be good right now and I'd be barking up the wrong tree. Don't insult Arsenal. It's bad enough you thought of that first. You mean Forsenal? Is that a Forsen joke combined with Arsenal fans? Let me just Google Arsenal Championships. It's a joke about Arsenal always ending at 4th place. Arsenal has been doing well, so please. The fact that someone in chat is begging me not to make fun of Arsenal is giving me the message that I should make fun of Arsenal more. Because that's exactly the type of reaction I was looking for. What I don't want is someone to be like, actually, have you not been watching football? Which I have not. Don't you know that Arsenal is extremely good right now? I'd be like, oh, well, I guess I have to find a different fan base to make fun of. But the fact that you're crying in stream is sending me the opposite message. See, if this was the NBA, I know exactly the teams that I can make fun of. But I don't actually want to watch, Premier League soccer, so it makes it a little harder. What is an Arsenal? It's a football team in the Premier League. All I know about football is Arsenal fans are called Gooners. Are they actually? Like, at this point, they might as well be. Football is serious business. If I was going to start watching Premier League, what would be the most annoying cunt move for me to do if I'm going to choose my team to follow? Should I become a Man U fan? Is that how it works? Just be like, I don't know anything about football, but I've decided I'm a Man U fan. Come on, England! Bang, bang, bang. It's Gunners, not Gooners, man. LMAO. Oh, fuck right off with Man U. It's either Man U or Paris Saint-Germain. Oh, I know. I'll say I'm a Paris Saint-Germain fan because I like the Dota team. How about that? It was like, I got into soccer because I like PSG from their Dota team. That'd probably be the most obnoxious thing to say. Call it soccer or something. We've actually had loser Euros in chat complain when I call football soccer or vice versa. If you're going to be a proper American, you gotta just be like, hey, how's the soccer score? Nothing like calling a sport football when you only kick the ball like 5 times per game. Hand egg. Dota has ruined many relationships. I mean, if you're playing Dota together, your relationship was never going to last anyways. Go for the city. They show how easy you can win Premier. Just spend 100 million pounds for a single player. Do it 11 times. Easy. They're owned by, like, Saudi oil barons, right? Isn't PSG also owned by Saudi oil barons? At this point, there's so many teams that are owned by the Saudis that I can't even remember which ones are which. If nothing else, know that Tom Brady's soccer team got demoted. LMAO. Wait, did he have a Premier League team? Or was it... Didn't he have like a really low level, like, third team that was like already relegated? Isn't that how it worked? What about the soccer team that was owned by the guys from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Is that the same team as Tom Brady? Oil sheiks are playing Soccer Manager IRL. It'll be particularly funny when they don't have any more money and the entire country of Saudi Arabia is overheating from global warming caused by their own oil. In 50 years before I die. Tom Brady was on Birmingham City, different from Wrexham. Okay. I don't know. I can't see how owning a team could be that much fun. I know these people want to live vicariously again, but honestly, Messi looks like he's having a lot of fun. He gets to live in Florida with all the other crazies and basically kick ass against the equivalent of a third-tier team in Europe. And he can go shopping without anybody bothering him because just besides like a very limited number of soccer fans in America, nobody knows who the fuck Messi is in this country. It's just like an ideal way to retire, I would say. Messi is on vacation, and it's all thanks to Beckham, those British again. I mean, he accomplished everything that you could possibly do, right? There's basically no argument that he isn't the GOAT at this point, right? With the World Cup win. So what else is he going to do besides fuck off to Florida and chill with all of his money? Actually like to hear somebody argue that Messi isn't the GOAT. Fuck off to a better state than Florida? I don't know. Some people like Florida. You know, meth heads and stuff. They like Florida. Yes, Messi has indeed beaten life. Florida is nice if you have money and you don't mind living in a fucking swamp. I don't care how rich I am. I don't want to live in a place where I have to deal with like 100% humidity. Fuck that. And also my $1 billion condo collapsing into the swamp and shit. They all hang out on their boats during the day anyways. Yeah, I'd rather like be in fucking Minnesota. Which is also hot during the summers, though, so it's not really an escape from the Florida weather, but, you know. How many years in prison would you get if the police search your computer? 0, because I don't have anything illegal on it. Speak for yourself, you fucking child predators out there. Maybe I should just ban my entire chat permanently and then change my personality to be like a friendly, no profanity, no sexual content, under 18 child-friendly stream or something so I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. No more swearing. Just heckin' wholesome content. Just supportive comments all the time. Do it? Yeah, I don't really care enough. It's too much work. You know that would just attract the pedos. Unfortunately, that is true. half of the people in chat would be grown adults LARPing, trying to establish trust with young children, as they often are. Heckin' wholesome D&D content. I'd have to start playing Minecraft. Is Minecraft still the king of child content at this point? Or have they moved on to, like, Poppy's Playtime or something? Or is it still Roblox? If I want to attract the maximum number of underage kids and convince them to steal their parents' credit card and give me money, what should I be streaming? Roblox? Still Roblox? Good. I was worried that the kids nowadays weren't getting exposed to the maximum number of child predators, but as long as we still have Roblox as the most popular item, I don't have to worry about it. Is it Poppy Playtime done? Like, people just buy their merch and that's it? That, and they probably, like, update the wiki and shit. Roblox is a dark place. Any place that is, has a large concentration of children in it is going to end up being a dark place. Just ask the Catholic Church. Or the Smash community. It's going to end up being like 30% kids and the remaining 70% being child predators. Club Penguin somehow avoided that fate, LMAO. I never touch Club Penguin. I often see people being really nostalgic about it on 4chan. But it was one of those things that I was definitely on the internet at that time, but I never touched Club Penguin. Will you make a version of the manga where the drows are naked? Maybe if it's popular enough. It'll be a special Patreon tier. My sister loved Club Penguin. I taught her how to troll on there. Trolling was so much more fun back in the day. Now, most are trolls trying to troll other people, and people pretending that they're getting trolled, but they're not actually being trolled. They're just pretending. Everyone has become too cynical on the internet. Instead of Club Penguin, I was doing stuff like Game Facts. I had a Game Facts. BaalBud is my Game Facts username. I know it's hard to understand before YouTube, but when you got lost on your video games, when you were playing on your N64 back in the day, you would have to go onto GameFAQs and read a gigantic text tutorial on how to get through the water temple and stuff. It was a different time. It was a more pure time. How old is your GameFAQs account? I don't know. It would have been like... It's from middle school, so I mean like 25 years, I don't know. When did GameFAQs go online? Bald buddy soon? I'm not going bald, I hate to tell you. My father is in his 70s and he has all of his hair. It hasn't even thinned. My genes are really strong. At least when it comes to not going bald. That's the one thing in which I can beat LeBron at. LeBron might be the main character of the world, but when it comes to having hair, I still win. He ain't got shit on me. GameFAQs were started in 95. Yeah, so I've probably had a GameFAQs account for like 25 years or so. I don't know if I can log in. I think I've forgotten my password. Main character of the world, LMAO. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about the NBA players right now because we're in the middle of the playoffs, but LeBron literally is like the main character of the world, at least in terms of my timeline. He's like 2 years older than me. He had his dark LeBron villain arc during the Miami. I mean, he brought a championship to Cleveland. If you need any more proof that he's the main character, you can't have anything more than that. No one will ever bring that level of joy to Cleveland ever again, so it's way more impressive than Messi winning the World Cup for Argentina. Nothing good has ever come out of Cleveland except LeBron, so he's literally the savior. He has a tattoo that says the chosen one. He's fucking Naruto. LeBron will never surpass MJ in my headcanon, though. Ooh, I think LeBron's better than MJ, unironically. And I was around for both. I think LeBron did more with less than MJ did. Like in terms of teammates, for example. Some of the teams that LeBron took to the finals were absolute dog shit. Like the one that he took to the finals in 2007. It was composed of players that basically were out of the league the moment they stopped playing with him. Kendrick Lamar is this season's MC. I fucking hate Kendrick Lamar. At least his music. I don't know what else he's doing besides getting in a feud with Drake. But I really don't like his music, so I can't really care about him. Is he sexier than MG? Gotchi Hyper. He doesn't have the single earring that MJ had. Also, he's not as much of a psycho competitor, which is considered to be a positive in sports, I think. MJ played when the NBA rules allowed stronger defense. Yeah, but if LeBron was playing at the same time, he would be even better than MJ on defense. By stronger defense, it just means that people didn't have to run as much because they were allowed to just hack the shit out of each other. If you actually watch the 90s games right now, you'll be kind of shocked at how little people actually have to move. There's just a shit ton of people dribbling up the court and then like isolating for a 2-ball. It was way easier to play defense back then. You just had to have the strong physicals and then have like Charles Oakley beat the shit out of the other team and stuff. But did LeBron make a name for himself in baseball? Huh? Checkmate. Did LeBron have a blockbuster movie starring him and the Looney Tunes? Oh wait, he actually did because he wanted to do the same shit as MJ did. LMAO. Fucking Space Jam 2, I haven't seen it. When I saw that Lola Bunny was desexualized in Space Jam 2, I knew it wasn't for me and I gave up. Just kidding, I don't give a fuck about Lola Bunny. But I know there was a lot of people that felt that way, shockingly. MJ can sing and change skin color, though. Different MJ, but, you know, may as well be the same. Gonna pull out my PowerPoint about the 90s Bulls shortly. Also a better Space Jam. because the 90s Bulls were so good, that is actually detrimental to the argument that MJ was better than LeBron. I ain't gonna disagree that the 90s Bulls were a really great team, which is why LeBron is better for doing more with his shitty ass teams that he had to carry. Honestly, I'd be more willing to hear arguments that Kareem is better than LeBron than MJ is better than LeBron. I think Kareem is becoming extremely underrated as best player of all time in NBA discussions at this point. Especially because people are really like sucking Jokic's dick right now. Everyone on the internet is like, there's no way anybody could ever beat Jokic at anything. I'm like, bro, your memory is really short. Controversial take, but Patrick Ewing is underrated as well. I mean, underrated, overrated is always an interesting concept, right? Because you start with whether you have to first agree on how something is rated, and then you have to agree on whether this thing is better or less than the way it's rated. So you have to agree on multiple things to even get the conversation started. Minnesota proved that wrong. I've been really enjoying the Minnesota Nuggets series, but I can't make any sense of it, of like whether Minnesota's defense is actually like slowing down Jokic or not. It's just like back and forth. It's just blowout after blowout. I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this. What the fuck is this shit? Remember MJ's 1995 championship game, Bulls versus Cucks, truly one for the ages, feels strong, man. I feel like the Bulls are the equivalent of Arsenal at this point. In terms of like, they're probably a huge brand in terms of their city or whatever, but they haven't accomplished much. That felt targeted. You're the only person who cares about whether Arsenal is being properly treated in this stream. I'm sorry. Everybody else is like LMAO. Let's go back to talking about hentai. Yes. See, everyone's like, what the fuck are they talking about? What is all this sports talk? The only sports I know about is when my short-haired childhood friend is playing for the volleyball team because she's a tall tomboy, and I was playing to, confess my love to her, and then she started getting special lessons by the gym teacher after practice, and she's becoming more and more effeminate, but surely it's not because she's having sex with the gym teacher. Haha, LMAO. It's usually of the volleyball team instead of other tall sports like basketball, because the thing about basketball is they have baggy shorts, but if you have your childhood friend be on the volleyball team, she has to wear the tight booty pants. And you can jack off to that. That's always important. That escalated quickly? No, it didn't. That has always been the subtext. volleyball or track, yes. Or swim team. Those are the three options. Sometimes there's gymnastics for the leotard Coomers. I'm partial to the swim team. I like one-piece swimsuits myself as well. I wanted to befriend Hanako-chan, but ever since she started with the teachers after school lessons, she became more distant. Literally nobody is named Hanako anymore. There was a Hanako back in my day when I was an elementary school kid in the 90s, and nobody is named Hanako anymore. It's extremely out of date as a name when it used to be one of the most common names. In fact, most Japanese names that have ko at the end, that was a very standard format for female names in Japanese, but they've kind of stopped doing that. Hana itself is more popular now. Yeah, you don't put the ko on the end. Unless you're the ghost of the toilet. Whoa, lowly toilet ghost. Whoa. Stupid toilet ghost brat needs correction. Only Hime names now going by anime. There's stuff called like Dokyun names, which means like Dokyuns are, I don't know, these lower class people. I don't know how to explain it. But they do stuff like naming their son with the Chinese characters. Angel, the Chinese characters for Angel, and you're supposed to read the name Mikael or something like that. Stupid shit like that. I'm gonna end the stream here because I want to do more stuff. I still don't like the expression on this image right now, and I wanna make it better. So, did I spy a JoJo reference in one of the pages? No. See you around, guys. Good night.